Okay, so think about this for a second. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like you had to put on a kind of, well, a different version of yourself? Maybe you've experienced that quiet internal pressure to just adapt, or maybe even shrink a bit, disappear almost, just to, keep the peace. Or maybe it's the opposite for you. Maybe you find yourself constantly charming people, always bustling, always doing something, trying to be noticed, admired, even when you're just plain exhausted. Well, today our deep dive is unpacking a really profound new perspective on this whole experience, drawing insights from a powerful new book that gets right to the heart of why we wear these masks in life. Let's really get into it.
Yeah, and what's truly compelling about the author's work here, I think, is this core insight they have. Whether you're putting on what they call a silent mask, the one that just blends in, or a loud mask, the one that's always performing, always seeking attention, both actually spring from the exact same place, a really deep human place.
Okay.
The book nails it down as the pain of not feeling enough as one truly is. Yeah. And if you think about it, it's really a coping mechanism, right? It's how we try to navigate a world where we're afraid our authentic selves might not be accepted or loved.
That makes sense. But there's a cost.
Oh, absolutely. A
Right.
huge cost. As the author really carefully details, over time, that mask starts to harden. It becomes what you think is your identity, and you slowly, maybe without even noticing, lose touch with your own convictions, your real desires, your deepest, honest truth. It's like this quiet tragedy of performance that can just erode your sense of self, leaving you feeling kind of fragmented and lost.
That's fascinating and honestly a bit confronting because it challenges so much of what society tells us about strength, about belonging. So, okay, what does this book offer instead? What's the alternative path?
Well, this is where it gets really hopeful, I think.
Yeah.
The book's central message is actually incredibly freeing. It's almost counterintuitive to what we normally hear. It basically proposes that real strength isn't found in constantly striving or that endless performance or trying to prove your worth over and over again.
Okay, so not in the doing.
Exactly. Not in the doing. It suggests strength is actually found in things like rest, in vulnerability, and in the, frankly, profound courage it takes to just lay down those false identities.
Young them down.
Yeah. This isn't about trying harder or pushing through exhaustion. The book presents it more as a kind of sacred path, a path back to the unique voice the author describes as God breathed into you. It's offering this really radical shift, moving away from living for external approval, likes and validation, and moving towards discovering a true sense of belonging that actually comes from within.
Okay, so this journey the book maps out, it's described as a sacred path of healing and becoming. It sounds like a deliberate return to who you really are.
Precisely. And the author doesn't just diagnose the problem, which is great. They actually outline a practical pathway forward.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they even suggest there are these 7 essential steps for returning to your true identity. Now, obviously, we can't unpack all 7 steps right here in this deep dive.
Sure.
But just knowing there's a framework like that, it really hints at the depth and the practical help inside this book. It's something listeners can look forward to when it comes out.
Definitely. That structure sounds really valuable. But it does raise a question for me, and maybe for listeners too. Is this just another self-help thing about mustering up your own strength?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
And the book is very clear on this point. No, it is not about self-made strength.
Yeah.
Instead, it champions something the author calls holy dependence.
Holy dependence.
Yeah. And what's insightful is how this isn't presented as weakness, not at all. It's actually framed as the source of real resilience. It's what enables us to move from that feeling of fragmentation, all those scattered pieces of ourselves, from the masks and the coping
Scatteredness.
towards genuine wholeness. The author powerfully reminds us that each person, each you, is designed with a unique voice, a distinct purpose, and a sacred identity that isn't, and actually never was, based on what other people think or approve of.
Wow.
It's about recognizing this inherent worth that exists before you ever perform.
And that really is the incredible invitation this book seems to be extending, isn't it? A chance to live, as it says, unmasked and unafraid. It's like an invitation to accept what the author calls this gentle summons to come home to ourselves, to finally shed those heavy burdens of performance and just belong. Truly belong. So definitely keep an eye out for this powerful new book. It is coming soon, and it really sounds like it could be a transformative read.
Absolutely. And maybe just leave listeners with this thought, a direct quote that really resonated with me from the book. You are Chosen before you performed,
Hmm.
loved before you produced, valued even when invisible, called without competing.
That's beautiful, chosen, loved, valued, called, before anything else. So this ongoing journey the book talks about returning, rebuilding, and then radiating your authentic self. It really does sound like a path to a kind of peace that, well, that surpasses understanding. It's about living a life redefined by inherent love, real purpose, and true courage. It definitely makes you wonder, doesn't it? What would your life actually look like, feel like if you finally dropped the mask? Something to think about.